Hi guys, welcome back to my home. My name is Rachel. Welcome into my Zen space. Come to a seat at the center of your mat. We're gonna come into our little Sukhasana easy pose. So I want you to come into that cross-legged seat of choice. I like to go out of my comfort zone sometimes and I'll come into that comfortable cross leg and then switch it up, make it the uncomfortable side. So it starts to become more comfortable on both sides of my body, working towards balance always, right? So as we start today, maybe get that flesh out of the way on your sit bones, really connect the sit bones into the mat. I want you to feel the base of your pelvis into the mat here. Start to come to your breath. Just a few reminders before we start. That if you need to stop, you need a sip of water, you need to towel off, you need to take a break for a second, pause the video if you'd like, come down into Shavasana. I like to do both sides of things, so once we're done with one side of a flow, just know we're gonna move to the next. I'd like you to make sure that you're doing both sides of something. So if you get super tired, make sure you finish the opposite side before coming down into a resting pose. Also, my dog may come into the mix at some point today, barking or something like that. So I apologize in advance if it disrupts us in any way. We really hope that it doesn't. So here we go. Just start to relax, settle in, close your eyes. As you sit into this easy pose, really stack the head over the heart and then lift the heart so it stacks over the pelvis. Bring the spine super long. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's straight, as long as your hips are right underneath that pelvis, your pelvis are right underneath those shoulders, and your shoulders are really supporting the head. Everything stacks tall here. If you'd like to imagine, there's a current of energy. You can feel it rushing up through your pelvic floor, up this center channel, through the heart, through the neck, through the throat, through the crown of the head, and out into the universe. Maybe you imagine it flooding out into the universe. This pulling of energy up through your body, energizing you, stabilizing you, grounding you into everything that is. Start to focus on your breath. Maybe you start to deepen the breath here. Inhaling fully through that nose. Maybe a gentle exhale through the mouth, or maybe you start to close up that mouth, working the breath in and out through the nose. Allow yourself to settle in. Any thoughts that start to arise, send them away. Leave everything outside of the mat here. So whatever your space you're in, I want you to imagine all of the things you have to do today or that have been said today. Maybe it's in the evening for you. Leave them outside of this room, outside of this space. There's no need to deal with any of that right now. Just settle in and be on your mat. Be in your moment. Be with your breath. Continue to breathe. Continue to let go. Now, as you start to deepen that breath, imagine that inhale coming in fully, like a light, filling your body, filling your belly, filling the chest all the way up with air. Really allow it to be expansive. And as you exhale, start to pull the breath out from the belly. Push it out through the chest, up through the nose, releasing it all out. Let the belly button release towards the spine. With each inhale, maybe a smile comes to your face, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Feel the weight of your eyeballs in their socket. Maybe you feel those shoulders drop back and down on that exhale. Allowing the spine to stack a little bit taller, plugging a little bit of weight into the hips right there where the thighs meet. So you can really plug yourself down into the floor and feel that lift up the front side of your body. Really deepening the breath here, focusing on that breath. This breath is what we will use through our entire practice. in and out through the nose. We can focus on this breath in and out through the nose. We can avoid that fight or flight response that occurs when we start to pant or breathe in and out through the mouth. So keep the breath in and out through the nose. Maybe you go inside and find an intention for your practice. Maybe you're not into that intention thing. Maybe you find it's something you're grateful for or thankful for today. Remember, when we find gratitude around us, more things start to pop up that we can find we're grateful for. Good. Just keep breathing. Really finding that breath. Sometimes it's hard to sit in the stillness, isn't it? Maybe you feel a little tension through the spine. Breathe through it. We're working past those stagnant areas. We're pushing them out. Breathing deep. Maybe you bring that smile back to your face. Come back to your intention. Come back to your breath, your moment of gratitude. Let all the other thoughts float away like clouds. Start to think about your palms here. Start to feel a little bit of a vibration occurring right in the center of your palm. This is your energy. Now maybe you see a little ball or a little glistening of light hovering right above those palms. Allow that fire to build. Allow that energy to create. And then gently bring the palms together. Rub them for just a moment. Feel the heat between the palms. And then bring those palms to your eyes. Warming the eyes, sending that energy into the eyes, into the third eye chakra. Waking our chakra system up. Bring it up to speed. Smile. Release the palms. Open your eyes. Good job. You should already be feeling a little energized, maybe a little hazy here. We did sit here for quite some time. Don't worry about any tension that you're feeling in your spine. Maybe twist to the side a little bit, gently releasing. Good. Release the hands by your side. Kick the feet out in front of you. Soles of the feet go reaching. Flex your feet. Toes are pointed, reaching up towards the sky. You're flexing your feet so hard that your hips start to want to rise up. Your thighs start to want to rise up. Hold, and then pull the hands by your side. Start to press into your palms. Dandasana. Good. Keep flexing those feet. Keep holding. Keep breathing. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Try and bring the belly to the thighs first. Keep flexing those feet. Grab a hold of the feet, the ankles, the shins, maybe even the floor, and start to pull down. Reach your chin towards your shins, nose towards your toes. Paschimottanasana. Good. Just keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Keep flexing those feet. Keep reaching forward. Keep pulling your chest forward. Think cobra here, cobra chest. Look past those toes. And on your next inhale, slowly round it up. Reach up for the sky. And then exhale, drop those hands to heart center. Walk your legs out just a little further than you were before. It doesn't have to be far. We're starting off slow. We want to start to waken the muscles first. So go as far as you'd like. When it starts to feel the little bit of stretch, that's where I want you to stop. Flex your feet. Reach for the sky. Inhale. Exhale, twist the body towards the right and fold towards that right foot. Keep pressing weight into this left thigh, pressing it down towards the mat. Keep flexing your feet and reach your nose towards your toes. We're still drawing that chin towards the shin. We're talking that bandha. Pull your mula up, pull your Uddiyana Bandha, pull up your Jalandhara Bandha, and tuck your chin into your chest. Round the forehead into the knee. Pull down a little tighter, keep flexing your feet, and slowly roll it up. Good job. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, keep flexing those feet, twist the body to the left and forward fold onto that leg. Grab a hold of the shin, the bottom of the foot, the toe, whatever you need here, and start reaching that belly button towards the thigh and bending it down. Bring the belly to the thigh and then reach the chin towards the shin. Flex your foot. Keep flexing both those feet. Press and plug some weight into this right hip so you can feel it grounding, so you can feel the stretch in the right leg as well. Hold. Inhale, lift up. Think cobra, really stretch that chest forward, and then round. Pull your Mula Bandha in. Pull your Jalandhara and your Uddiyana Bandha in. Tuck the chin into the chest. Round the forehead into the knee. Feel the difference in the stretch. Keep flexing your feet. Good. Pull up through that pelvic floor and start to round on up. Come on up. Good job. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands come down beside you. Bring the feet in together. Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come in. You can grab a hold of the ankles here and pull them in if you like. I like to feel the increase in the stretch on my inner thighs. If this is super intense for you also, and your legs are still wide like a diamond, don't stress. You'll get to that triangle shape eventually. Maybe you even need to grab a hold of a block and take and support those knees in this first Baddha Konasana. Choose your own adventure. This is your yoga practice. I'm just here to guide you through a flow, okay? Soles of the feet together here, and we start to work the knees down towards the mat. We're still sitting super tall, grounding those sit bones into the mat, lifting up tall. Maybe you grab a hold of the ankles and pull up so you can feel that stretch through the spine. Good. Now I want you to grab your thumbs on the inside arch of your foot and wrap your fingertips around the outside edge of your foot. Keep the nice edge of your feet together and start to open your feet like you're looking into a book. Look down. Massage the inside of your foot with that thumb. Maybe you're reading your imaginary book here. What's your story telling you? Maybe you're writing that story. Good. Maybe you take the fingers, stick them between the toes, stretch those feet out. Maybe you want to work up to the shins, up to the calves, maybe the knees and thighs. Just a few more moments here. Good. Now that we've started that stretch, let's start to keep working that stretch. So you're going to have two options for this next pose. You can either start working in towards a fire log pose, which is going to be both legs parallel with the top of the mat here. We're working to get those shins parallel on top of each other and allow the top foot to dangle over the edge of the opposite thigh. So in this case, I've placed my left foot forward, bring my left shin parallel with the edge of my mat. Flex your left foot. Grab a hold of the right foot and place that right ankle just below your left knee. So I don't want it on the knee. I don't want you to hyperextend your knee, but allow the foot to really dangle here. You can even do a couple of ankle rotations here to really feel it. You're trying to get this right shin parallel with that left shin below and work that right knee down. Now, so for me, I'm close. It feels good for me here to be able to press down a little bit. If it feels good for you, go ahead and take the hands and gently press down just above that knee onto the thigh and feel the knee start to work down towards that opposite ankle. Now, if this is super uncomfortable for you and this is not working out well for you, grab a hold of those blocks or those bricks. Place them underneath the foot. You can even take and place it underneath the thigh, depending on how high your knee is up here. Working to keep those nice parallel right angles going. Eventually you'll get there. Don't stress if you're not there yet. It all comes with practice, okay? And somebody's body, just because it may be the first time they did yoga and they got it, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be able to do everything. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you should be able to do it either. Keep pressing down. Know that you are capable of doing anything that you practice and put your will towards. Good. Gently release that push. Grab a hold of your right shin. Pull it out of the way. Drop that right leg down and peel the left leg up Move your right leg in line, parallel. Let's go back into that fire log pose on this opposite side. So we'll do both versions I had planned, but we're just gonna do them separate. I want everybody to practice with me here. So get that right shin parallel, flex your right foot. Grab a hold of the left ankle and drop it just below the kneecap on the right thigh. The left foot is gonna dangle over the edge here. Now, remember, both sides of our bodies are different. Notice how my left leg on this side is much higher up than my right leg was. That's gonna happen. One side of our body is dominated by the male side, the other side's dominated by the female side. So what's gonna happen there? They're gonna end up not lining up some days, and that happens, and that's okay, and that's why we do yoga, is to get them to line up, get them to cooperate and work well together. So again, if you feel comfortable pressing down, go ahead and press down. Feel where there's resistance. Feel where your body's pushing back. Mine right here is pushing back underneath my ankle. The most odd of places, right there into my thigh, that's where I'm feeling the pressure. So I can always take this block and place it right here, if this helps me get the other leg down. Now notice anytime you apply one of your props, how it changes the movement, how it changes the stretch for you. Now I'm feeling the stretch through the outer portion of my left thigh, which is ideally where we want to feel it so we can start to get that nice stretch. Good. Keep holding here. Remember, you can always take this opposite block on the other side. There's 3 levels to your block: highest, medium, and low. Now the other version, we're going to try, kick those legs out, shake them out, let them go, wiggle them out. Good. Padmasana, lotus pose, is another great hip opener. Grab a hold of that right leg and place the right foot, bring the outside edge of that right foot and tuck it right where your thigh meets your belly. Start to turn the sole of that right foot up towards the sky. This is half lotus right here. You can even bring this opposite leg underneath and really start to feel the pull here. Or maybe you grab a hold of that left leg and peel it on top, bringing the edge of that foot right into that crease as well. Holding here. Good. Breathing. If you're in that one leg, if you have that right leg on top, I want you to switch. Bring the right leg underneath and bring the left leg on top. Really grab a hold of that foot and tuck the edge of that foot underneath your belly right there. Mine has a little bit more than some people, so I have to get it and pull it out of the way. It's okay. Sometimes we have to move pieces of our body to get into that depth of the pose. Good. Again, this is another posture. If you want to give it a try and it's too intense, you can come onto the blocks. I notice this changes it in my ankles, so just be aware of those ankles and be gentle on your body. If you start to move a prop into place and it hurts, back off always, okay? Good. Releasing from this Padmasana, this lotus pose. Good. Stretch those legs out. If you did full lotus, quickly go into the other side. We'll bring the left leg on top. We always want to do both sides, okay? Always, always. Good. Press down a little bit. Maybe wiggle it out. Yeah. Let's start to roll. Let's roll over onto those knees, coming into all fours. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists, stacking the knees right underneath those hip points. Extend your shins super long. Press down through the shins behind you. Notice how it activates that pelvic floor. Draw your shoulders up and back. Squeeze in your pelvic floor and kick your booty back as you stretch your crown forward. Now think about your palm grip here. Really push down through the fingertips. Squeeze the mat like you're holding onto the lid of a jar with your hand. Good. Inhale. Start to drop the belly. Think about using your spine as a wave. Look up towards the sky. Good. Cat, cow. Feeling the belly stretch here. Good. On your next exhale, round it out. Pull the belly button to the spine. Drop the tailbone towards the floor. Tuck the chin into the chest and squeeze. Pressing up and out of the palms. Pressing the shins down behind you. Nice deep breath. Inhale. Drop the belly. Look towards the sky. Arch that spine. Wake it up. And exhale, round and curl, starting to move with your own breath. Inhaling to drop the belly and look towards the sky. Arch that spine. Exhale, round and curl, really pull the belly button up and in, tuck that spine and press those hips towards the elbows, squeeze. Inhale, Drop the belly. Look up. Give me 2 more. Exhale, round and curl. Last one. Inhale, drop the belly. Press through the shins behind you. Look up. And exhale, round and curl. Good. Come to that neutral spine. Reach the crown of the head forward. Good. Now walk your hands forward. Come onto your toes and lift up. Come into your plank. Find the foundation with your hands. Find that nice spider grip. Press up and out of the palms. Squeeze those imaginary jar lids, or maybe you want to think about it like a spider grip. Rotating the upper arm bones up and out. Pull the shoulders back and down together. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. Pull your tailbone down towards your belly button, and then extend those heels. Really reaching those heels back. Hold. Good. Keep holding. Keep holding. Good. Drop down to the knees. Keep the toes where they are. Shift forward. Chest comes into the mat. Chin comes into the mat. Tailbone's reaching up towards the sky. Hold. Squeeze into the side body. Good. Shift the body weight forward. Push onto those toes. Come onto the tops of the feet. Lift up. Bring the knees off the mat. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Good. Kick those hips up to the sky on your exhale. Roll over those toes. Downward facing dog. Good. Rotate the upper arm bones out. Micro bend in the elbows, micro bend in the knees. Rotate the inner thighs in towards one another. Imagine you're squeezing a block between those thighs. Nice job. Inhale, bend through the knees. Squeeze the belly to the thighs. Exhale, step, hop, or jump to the top of your mat. We're in Uttanasana, forward fold. Let it hang heavy here. Breathe. Now, your heels and toes are lined up straight here. Maybe you need a little bit of a gap between the heels here. That's fine. Just get those big toes touching. Good. Micro bend in the knees. Press through the soles of the feet. Allow that press to be what rises you up. Come up to stack. Vertebrae on top of vertebrae. We reach to the sky. And then cactus the arms. Tuck your tailbone to protect your spine. Look towards the sky. Gentle little backward stretch. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Good. We're going to start with a little sun salute. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive down. Good. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Let it hang heavy for just a moment. Good. Inhale, half lift. Bring the palms to the shins or to the thighs. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Extend the crown of the head, long hold. And exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Press the palms into the mat. Step the right foot back. Good. Find yourself in that lunge first. Really holding strong here, getting that left thigh parallel with the mat, pressing through that back heel. Good. Grounded through the palms. Find that spider grip. Kick the left foot back. Plank. Drop down to the knees, chest, chin, or shift your body weight forward in plank. Look over that ledge. Drop the belly onto the biceps. Come down. Roll over those toes. Lift up. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Shift it back. Downward facing dog. Let it go. Shake the head no. Good. Now nod it yes. Rotate those upper arm bones out. Think about drawing your armpits towards one another. Now rotate the inner thighs and lift those hips a little higher. Good. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, draw it in tight towards the chest. Shift your body weight over those left toes. Bring that body weight forward. Come in before dropping it down. Long lunge. Right foot drops in between the hands. Sink those hips down. Try to get this right thigh parallel with the mat below now. Extend back through those left toes. Find your balance here. Bring the hands off the mat. Now bring them to the hips and inhale up. Good. Bend your left knee slightly, sink it down, and then lengthen that left leg long. Feel the stretch. Good. Inhale, reach your hands up above your head. Draw the palms together in prayer and bring the right thumb on top. Release down onto your left knee. Release those left toes and peel, squeeze your pelvic floor in. Imagine pulling that imaginary block between the thighs. Shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin into your chest. Round and curl, belly button to spine, forehead into the knee. Deva Namaskar. Really pressing down through the shin behind you. Maybe you frame the foot for stability here. Working on our Bandha lock. Pressing in through that big toe on the right foot. Pressing down through the shin on that backside. Forehead into the knee. Tuck your chin tight into your chest. Embrace the choking sensation. We're rinsing the thyroid. Press through that pituitary gland. Press through that third eye. Rinse it out. Pull up through your pelvic floor. Feel the flush of energy coming to you. Inhale, draw your palms back together. Keep the biceps by the ears. And use your next inhale. Press, tear the mat apart, and reach up. Yield that sword to the sky. That was our kneeling salute to the gods on this right side. Windmill those hands down. Frame that right foot. Curl onto the toes. Good. Shift it forward. Kick it up. Standing splits. Now, in your standing splits, point the left toe and then drop your left hip down towards the mat. Bring it parallel with the mat below. Good. Now think about lifting your left leg by using the left inner thigh. Forehead towards the shin. Let the crown hang heavy and gently release. Uttanasana, forward fold. Shake the head no. Nod it yes. Press through the soles of the feet. And slowly trace a line up the front of your legs if you need to. Stack one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders back and down, head lifts. Reach for that sky, tuck your tailbone. Slight little back bend here. It's not really a back bend as much as it's a shoulder drop, head drop. Just kind of releasing the chest towards the sky. Hands to heart. Hold for just a moment. And then use your exhale to drop the hands down beside you, Tadasana. Lift through your toes, replace them down one at a time. Good. Let go of something here. And then start to feel the energy grounding through your feet. Rising up the front side of the body, rolling down the back side of the body, really lifting and grounding. Maybe you imagine a ball of light rolling up the top of your feet. This is your current of energy. It rolls up the shins, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the sternum up towards the sky, and the chin comes parallel with the mat. You feel this energy vibrate out the top of your head, and then it rolls down the back side of your spine, releasing the shoulders down, releasing the tailbone down, tucking that tailbone back. You start to feel the release into the heels. Maybe it rounds up the bottom of your feet, coming straight back up. This cycle of energy, this is your energy. You created this. Smile at the thought. Good, let's do that other side. Inhale, reach up. Open those eyes. Exhale, press the sides of the room away as you come down with a flat spine. Forward fold. Walk those hands beside your feet and breathe. Legs strong, legs straight. Working that forehead closer to those shins. Inhale, half lift. Palms come to the shins or to the thighs. Shoulder blades together, squeeze. Exhale, release it down. Let something go. Good. Press those palms into the mat. Find your mat grip. Find that spider grip. Step the Step the left foot back. Good. Finding the lunge on that left side. So the right foot is forward, left foot back. The right leg is really trying to become parallel with the mat below. Press into the palms. Now step the right foot back. Good. Find yourself in that plank. Dropping down knees, chest, and then chin. Shifting forward. Moving through upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Choose your adventure here. You can always do knees, chest, chin, or you can always do that chaturanga flow. It's really up to you. But I want you to find some point of challenging yourself. Good. Shake the head no. Nod yes. Lift the left leg up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, draw that left knee in tight towards the chest, almost like you're a flamingo. Shift over those right toes. Drop that left foot in. Long lunge. Square up the hips. Left hip back, right hip forward. Trying to get this left thigh parallel with the mat below. Good. Find a nice strong balance here. You should be able to lift your hands off of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips and peel your body up. Come on up. It's all right if you're a little wobbly. Remember, one side's going to be different than the other. Hands at the hips first. Bend your right knee, then straighten it. Find how you get the depth in your hips here. Good. Inhale, reach up. Palms come together in prayer. Left thumb on top. Slowly start to bend through the right knee and drop it down into the mat. Release through the right toes. Maybe you need to walk that left foot back a little bit. I want you to squeeze the imaginary block first. Then make sure that you have 2 right angles. Once you squeeze that block, it's going to pull everything in together. So imagine that you're taking one of these blocks and squeezing it right here. Okay? Good. Hands are up. Left thumb on top. Shoulders back and down. Biceps by the ears. Pull in through your pelvic floor. Drop your chin into your chest. Pull in through that belly button. Begin rounding and curling. Drop your forehead into your knee. Maybe frame the foot for stability here. Activating the great lock, the Mahabandha. We're pulling in our pelvic floor, our Mula Bandha. We're tightening our Uddiyana Bandha. And we're tightening up our Jalandhara Bandha. Our throat lock here is creating a thyroid flush. The pressure of our forehead into the knee is rinsing out that pituitary gland. We're kneeling salute to the goddesses, Deva Namaskar, on this left side. Still squeezing that imaginary block. Inhale, draw the hands back together, biceps by the ears. Press down through that shin behind you. Inhale, press up. Pressing through the big toe mound, pressing through that shin, reach towards the sky. Beautiful job. Windmill those hands down. Frame that left foot. Curl onto those back toes. Lift up. Shift it forward. Standing splits. Drop the right leg down and lift from the right inner thigh. Right hip is parallel with the mat below. Point your toe and breathe. Release the crown of the head towards the mat. Lift a little higher and release it down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Inhale, half lift. This time bring the palms to the thighs. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Create that figure 7. Push on those thighs. Micro bend in those knees. Press into the balls of the toes. Exhale, let something go. Good, nice job. Inhale, slowly roll up. Trace a line at the front of those legs. Micro bend in the knees. Stack one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders back and down. Then we reach up to the sky. Tuck your tailbone to protect your spine. Slight little drop back here. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Close your eyes and release the hands beside you. Tadasana. Back to that mountain pose. Back to finding your breath. Good opportunity to sip some water and towel off if you need. Good. Moving into a little warrior series flow. We're going to inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Come on down. Forward fold for just a moment. Good. Let it hang heavy. Shake the head no. Nod it yes. Maybe the eyes are still closed here. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Keep that micro bend in the knees and rock it side to side. Reset the spine. Good. Hands come into the mat. Press to the soles of the feet. Slowly rise back up. Shoulders back and down. Head lifts. I'm going to turn here so you can see what's going on. What I want you to do is bring your hands to heart center. Palms in prayer. Smile. Smile. Say something nice to yourself. Maybe find something you're grateful for in this moment. Good. Now, lift up through your left toes and replace them down one at a time, starting with the pinky toe. Be conscious. Pay attention. Good. Now shift the weight into your left leg. Micro bend in your left knee. Slowly start to draw the right knee up. Imagine that there's a string coming from your kneecap and it's pulling the leg up like a puppeteer has you on a puppet string. Okay? Now rotate your ankle 3 or 4 times to the right. Good. Now 3 or 4 times to the left. Or opposite direction than you went. Good. Grab a hold of your right knee and open up. Grabbing a hold of the ankle, maybe bringing it into the inner thigh. Now, if you can't quite get it to the inner thigh, I want you to bring it to the shin, not the knee, the shin, and just use this right hand to open up this right leg. Find your balance. If you still can't find your balance there, that's okay. Remember, practice makes perfect. Bring that big toe to the mat and kickstand here. This will help you find a little bit of balance while still opening up this hip. Use that right hand and really pull it open. Woo. Good job. Now, once you find your balance, whichever posture you chose, reach up towards the sky. Grow your limbs. Good. Maybe you only want one limb up. Maybe you want them both up and you want to sway in the wind. Find your balance. Good. Grab a hold of that leg, rotate it back in, release the ankle, and drop it down. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Good. Release any tension in that lower spine. Lift through the right toes and replace them down one at a time, starting with the pinky toe. Work to that big toe. Be conscious. Feel all of the corners of your feet spreading across the mat. Good. Once you find that grounding, shift the weight into your right leg. Micro bend in the right knee. Start to lift up with that left knee. Remember that puppet string pulling up from your kneecap. Now rotate that ankle a few times in one direction and then the other. Nice job. Grab a hold of that knee or the inside of that thigh and start to push away. Maybe grab a hold of the ankle and open up. It depends on where you're at in your practice, in your yoga flow. Good. Sole of the foot is extended in towards that thigh, pushing into the calf or kickstand right here at the ankle. Choose your adventure. Breathe. Try not to grab on with those toes. Just hold. Micro bend in that right knee helps you lift from the pelvic floor. Now wherever you are, grow those limbs. One at a time. Maybe sway in the wind, like the wind chime. Draw the hands down. Good. Still working to open this left hip. Open, open, open. Nice job. Bring it back in and release it down. Good job. Step it a little bit wide, a little bit wider than your mat, and wiggle. Wiggle it out. Let it go. Release any tension in the legs, any tension in the hips. Maybe you want to step and point. Get the tops of those legs. Yes. Find what feels good here. Release any tension in your body. We're not trying to build tension. We're just trying to build more strength and foundation. Step it in. Heels and toes touch. Maybe a little separation through those heels. Now, that was our tree. We're going to go into a quick tree here, and then we're going to move through our warrior series. So I want you to still stand at the top of your mat. I'm just moving so we can move into that warrior together. Good. Heels and toes touching. Lift through the right toes. Replace them down one at a time. Lift through the left toes. Replace them down one at a time. Shift the weight into the left leg and start to lift the right leg. Go into your tree. Maybe you want to play with going into a little higher level than you went last time. Do it. Good. Now bring that right leg back in. And this time, instead of dropping it down, we start to kick it back. Hands at heart center. Keep reaching that right hip down towards the mat. Keep extending those right toes long. Hold. Warrior three. Fly. Maybe you reach those arms out beside you or out in front. Good. Listen carefully. Bend your left knee. Drop your right toes down. Rotate your right foot so it's parallel with the back edge of your mat. Keep those left toes pointed forward. Keep a bend in the left knee. Open your arms wide. Warrior two. Maybe you want to heel toe that foot back a little farther for your warrior two. Depends on where you are in your flow. Drop your shoulders back and down. Tuck your tailbone. Sink it down. Make sure that the left knee isn't splaying out one direction or the other. You want it facing past those left toes, and you want that left knee over the left ankle. Reach those fingers out long, palms down, shoulders back and down. Look over the left fingertips. Don't reach too far into the future or fall too far back into the past. Hold your center strong. Once again, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Good. Now, all with one fluid motion. Rotate your right toes towards the front, swing your right arm up and forward. Now we're looking towards that left big toe. Good. Warrior one. Good. Right toes are at a 45 here, so they're facing the right corner of the room. Sink it down. Squeeze that imaginary block between the thighs. Hold. Good. Windmill it down. Frame the left foot. Rotate on those back toes. Kick it up. Standing splits. Right hip down, point through the toe, lift from the right inner thigh. Good. Release it down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Slow rise up, press through the soles of the feet. Come on up. Shoulders back and down, head lifts, reach for that sky. Exhale, let something go. Inhale up, hands down. Breathe. Good. Lift through the toes, replace them down one at a time. Moving on to the opposite side, lift up your right toes and replace them down one at a time, specifically feeling all four corners of that foot stretch out on the mat. Good. Shift the weight into the right leg, micro bend in the right knee, and start to lift up that left leg. Coming back into that tree, maybe going a step farther than you did last time. Remembering that if you fall, you're learning to fall today. It's okay. We have to learn to fall so we know what it feels like and we're not afraid of it. Good. Allow yourself to fall out of the posture today. Draw that left knee in, point through those left toes, and now start to kick them back. Hands are still at heart center. Look forward. Find a drishti point, a gaze you can keep in your eye to keep you balanced. Left hip rolls down, lifting from the left inner thigh, just like we were in our standing splits. And then allow that to be what hinges your body forward. Maybe you really fly here, reach those arms out. Maybe you reach them in front like you're a Superman. Maybe you keep them at heart center, working on the lift. Good, slowly bend your right knee, drop the left foot back. Good, open up, warrior two. Left foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. Shoulders drop back and down. Tuck in your pelvic floor and shift the weight a little bit. Right knee over right ankle. Make sure that that right knee is facing straight forward towards that mat. Look over the right fingertips. Breathe. Maybe say, I am a strong warrior. Good, warrior two. Now turn your left toes towards the front. Rotate that back heel, reach the left arm up. Right arm up, warrior one. Sink it down a little farther. Breathe. Left foot is at that 45. Squeeze that imaginary block between the thighs. Hold. And windmill down. Frame that foot, come onto those back toes. Shift it forward, kick it up. Left leg lifts, standing splits. Point through that left toe, lifting from the left inner thigh. And release it down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Shake the head no. Nod it yes. Always ending on that positive no. Press through the soles of the feet. Micro bend in the knees. Start to rise on up. Tracing that line up the front. Shoulders back and down. Head lifts. Reach for the sky. And slight little back bend. Tuck your tailbone. Good. Inhale up. Hands down through heart center. And exhale. Release those hands by your sides. Close your eyes. Tadasana. Good job. Breathe. Hands to heart center now. Keep those eyes closed. Good job. Start to reflect on your practice. Where did you struggle? Where did you find that floating? Where did you fall? Gentle little body scan here, starting with the crown of the head. Work your way down through the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Let the eyeballs hang heavy, let your tongue hang heavy. Breathe. Just feeling yourself let go. Good. Keeping that spine nice and long. Maybe imagine that current of energy running up the front side of the body, lifting everything up. And dropping, cascading everything down the back side. Good. Drop your chin into your chest. Keep the spine super long. Say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to float, to fly, to fall. Maybe smile. Lift that chin parallel, eye gaze opens, we reach for the sky. Swan dive forward, come on down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Now stay where you are. I'm going to turn so you can see, but heels and toes are still touching. We're in that Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Palms are touching the mat here, framing them through the feet. Nice. Now, walk the hands away from the feet and heel toe the feet out, 1 to 2 heel toes, and allow the toes to go out and the heels to come in. Palms are touching the mat. Start to bend through the knees and sink your hips down towards the ground. Malasana, excuse me. Now, once you get here, you might find that you feel super unbalanced. It's okay to walk your feet out, walk your feet in, whatever you need to do to really get yourself sinking down between the hips. Then we want to elevate the spine by pressing the palms together and using the elbows to press away on the knees. Now, the more flexible you are, the easier it's going to be to have those feet in super close, pressing away. Work to get there. Even if you're up on your toes right here or up on the heels, find a comfortable position, get there, sink into it, and then start stretching up from that point. Good. Now drop the hands down and walk them out in front. Keep the feet where they are, keep the knees where they are, and reach those hands out in front of you. Good. Breathe. Nice deep breaths here. Keep pressing those palms in to really gather some length here. Now you can stay right here, pressing through the palms, keep extending long, feeling the stretch. You can also come back up here using the pressure to create a little bit of length through the inner thighs. Or maybe you want to go into the bind. If you want to go into the bind, I need you to walk your feet or have your feet as close as you can towards your body. Then you're going to drop your right shoulder down, allow your elbow to graze the mat, and reach the right arm up and around your backside. You should be able to come close to that hip. Now reach the left arm up and around. Maybe you grab a hold. Opening up, left shoulder reaches. Look up at the sky. Over that left shoulder. Weight is in the heels. Try and keep those big toes grounded. And slowly unwind. Walk those hands forward. Press in. Think downward dog here as you press through those palms, arching the spine, pulling the belly button in. Good. Now walk those hands back up. Press into that malasana. Good. You can either stay here or maybe you drop that left shoulder underneath the left shin and extend the left arm back behind you, maybe grabbing for that left hip. Maybe you can extend the right arm, reach it up and around, big arch with that right arm to grab a hold of those left fingertips. Now look over your right shoulder. Look up towards the sky over that right shoulder and hold the bind. If you can't quite grab, reach. Grab a hold of your clothes and pull. Holding, extending, reaching those fingers as if they're going to touch, because they will. Keep practicing. Good. Eye gaze comes forward. Unravel. Walk those hands forward. Oh yeah. Feels good, right? Yes. Now, we have the opportunity for a little bakasana or crow pose if you'd like to take some time here. I'll explain how we're going to work through it. Let's see if I can get mine in today. I feel like I'm nice and warmed up for it. So, from this malasana, we're going to do like a crow variation where the knees are going to reach towards the outside of our forearms here, or our biceps. So walk the hands out in front, press the palms into the mat. Get that spider grip going. Now come onto the toes and lift the hips a little bit, just enough to bring the knees to the backs of the arms. Now maybe you shift it forward and lift your left toe. Shift it back. Shift it forward, lift your right toe. Shift it back. Now, what we really want to work towards is getting it all the way up in towards that armpit area, but anywhere along the arm is fine. So from your malasana, come onto the toes. Walk the hands out and lift the hips. Now, try and get that knee. My knee is tucking into my armpit, but as soon as I start to fold forward, it wants to slide, and that's okay. And it also depends on what clothes you're wearing here too. Lift one toe, maybe you lift the other. Maybe you hover and hold. Breathing, looking forward. Remember where our eye gaze goes, that's where we go. So don't look down or you'll fall. Keep practicing your Bakasana. I'm gonna give you a few moments. Breathe. Work through it, look forward. Pull up, engage that pelvic floor. Good. I'm sure you guys are doing amazing. Remember, if you fall, that's the purpose of this practice today. We want to learn to float, to fly, and to fall. So if you're learning to fly in this moment, you're kicking both those feet up and you're holding, great. You're flying, you're floating. Feel the pressure of your palms pushing you away, almost as if your body would float right above that mat. Good. Give it one more go wherever you are. I know you can do it. Please give it one more shot. Good. Then lift up through those hips. Draw the heels and toes back together. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Now listen carefully. Bend your knees and start to sink it down. Come onto the toes and extend those shins out forward. So extend the knees out forward, I should say. Pull up through your pelvic floor. Maybe draw your hands to heart center. Good. Now we're going to work on a little side crow. Drop your right hand beside you and walk the left arm beside your right thigh. What you want to do here is work to get the bend of your right elbow right underneath your right hip, right where the thigh wants to start. Press in through the palm, maybe sink it over a little bit to find it. Now, your left elbow is pushing into the knee. I don't want to say the knee because it's not really the knee, it's the thigh right below or right above that knee. Hands are equal distance apart. Start to shift it over. Now, if that feels a little precarious, maybe walk the hands out and then shift it over. Can you lift your toes? Maybe one at a time, maybe both. Keep practicing squeezing the body super tight together. We want to keep everything super tight. Lock that Mula Bandha. Tighten up and look. Look down just above your fingertips. Keep giving it a go. I'm going to hold my energy for a moment so I still have enough breath by the time we move on to the other side. Good job. Keep practicing. Don't stop just because I did. You need to keep practicing. Practice is so key to our entire yoga life. If we want to live life of yoga, or at least just practice in an athletic sense, we need to continue to practice. Because when we stop practicing, that's when our technique starts to fall away, right? Good. Give it one more go. Wherever you are, on those toes, in that squat, reach around. Left knee comes into the top of that left thigh. Right elbow comes into the top of that right, or the back side of that right hip. And we shift. Maybe those toes lift. And release. Good job. Come down to the knees. Release the toes. Sink your hips to your heels. And round it out. Child's pose for just a moment, and then we'll go on to that other side. Come back to your breath. Breathe. Feel the tops of the legs stretch. Feel the massage of those calves, the massage of the feet. Good job. Slowly starting to roll it on up. Come on up. Sinking your hips to your heels. Wiggle side to side just a little bit. Good. Shift it forward onto the hands, curl onto your toes, and come up. Sinking those hips back to the heels. Now we're on the toes. Maybe you bring the hands together. Little gargoyle pose. And then drop both hands to the left side of your body. Now, notice when you start to reach over, your hips want to move, your knees want to move, draw them back in, squeeze the knees together, tighten up through that pelvic floor. Drop the right hand out, bring the right elbow right inside of that, right where your knee begins, but on the thigh. Good. Now left elbow wants to bend underneath that hip. Really tuck that hip on top, lift up those hips a little bit, and then shift it over. Again, if you find it a little precarious, come out and rearrange your hands. Press into that thigh, press into that hip, create that shelf with the arms, use those spider fingers, and hold. Breathe. Find your eye gaze. Pull up through that pelvic floor. Hold. Maybe you're tapping that toe. Good. Give it one more go. One last opportunity to float and fly and fall. Good job. Keep practicing. One last time. Everybody, even if you already came down, I want you to come back up, get onto those toes, create those shelves with the arms, shift it over. Good, release it down. Walk those arms forward, curl into a little ball, squeeze. Good, look up, smile, and roll onto your bum. Come back to the center of your mat. Draw the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Good. Now see if that triangle shape is a little more of a triangle now than a diamond shape. Maybe you gathered a little bit more stretch through those inner thighs. Lift that torso up tall and breathe. You guys have done great today. I'm uber proud of you. I know I can't see you, but just the fact that you showed up and watched this video, even if you're just sitting here watching it, I'll give you a little bit of credit there. But if you showed up and you did this video, you should be really proud of yourself. Give yourself a little pat on the back. We're not quite done yet, but we're done with the intense moving part of our flow. Soles of the feet together. Maybe give them a massage. Maybe grab those ankles and pull them in a little tighter. Smile, close your eyes. Massage your feet. Say something nice to yourself and mean it. Good. Now, if you have any blocks that you're using right now, go ahead and move them out of the way. Work to keep the soles of your feet together and gently start to come back, laying down. Maybe you come down to the forearms and then shift it forward. And then come down to your back, keeping that supta pose, that nice wide angle with the legs. You can grab those blocks back into play if you need them and place them underneath the knees. Just laying here in Supta Baddha Konasana and just breathing, letting go for just a moment. Come back to your breath. Take your right hand to your heart and your left hand to your belly. Notice your breath. Good job. Maybe you feel your heartbeat under your hand. Keep pressing through the soles of your feet. Keep feeling those hips open up a little bit more in this Supta Baddha Konasana. It's also known as Supta Badrasana, bound ankle pose. Good. Release your fingertips down by your thighs. Use your next inhale to close those legs like you're closing a book. Use the fingertips for help. Nice job. Bring both knees into the chest for a great big hug. This time reaching the forehead up to the knees. Give those knees a kiss. Tell them thank you. Really tucking the chin in towards the chest, pulling the belly button towards the spine, pulling that forehead towards the knees. Pull it in tight, inhale, take it in deep. Exhale, squeeze tight, 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 tight. And inhale to release. Drop the soles of the feet into the mat. Windshield wiper those legs from side to side for just a moment. Nice job, you guys. Draw the shoulders back and down, lift your heart space, tuck your chin back into your chest. Draw both knees back in, grab a hold of your legs. Now release the left leg and kick it up towards the sky. Heel reaches up, sole of the foot reaches up, really flex that foot hard. Start to flex your right foot, and now release the left leg down. Move slow, super, super slow. Releasing, releasing, releasing. Left heel comes down to the mat. Keep the flex in your feet. Now start to draw the right knee in, pulling that right knee towards the chest, squeezing the thigh onto the belly. When you get here, you should constrict your breath a little bit with that thigh. So every time you breathe in, you'll feel that thigh pressing back against your belly. Pavanmuktasana here, wind liberation pose. This is a pose about letting go of everything that doesn't serve us anymore. Breathing here. I'm thinking about those things, building up in a little bubble right below your right thigh, right where it meets the belly. Picture all of those things that aren't serving you anymore. Keep flexing your feet. Tuck your chin back in your chest if it started to waver. Pull that right knee in. Now, if your right knee is fully into your chest and you're squishing that thigh onto the belly as much as you can and you're not feeling any stretch, start to think about dragging that thigh along your body towards your right armpit. You want to keep the constriction of the breath here. So if you start to remove the constriction of the breath, come back a little bit and maybe just squeeze in a little deeper. I want everyone to feel the depth of their stretch here. Keep flexing both your feet, still imagining all of those things that aren't serving your life anymore filling up in that little bubble below the thigh. Keep flexing your feet hard. Keep drawing the shoulders back and down. Eyes are closed here, just letting go in Pavanmuktasana. Breathe. Working on our ascending colon, our ascending side here. This is where we're going to draw all of that information in. Keep breathing in deep. Keep flexing your feet hard. Use your next inhale. Draw that breath in. Hold your breath. Say to yourself here, I lovingly release everything that doesn't serve me anymore. And gently release the exhale as you release the grip on that right knee. Working to our transverse colon, draw the left knee up. Cross those fingertips over those shins, not the knees, and start to pull the knees in towards the chest. If you can't quite reach your fingertips, grab a hold of a strap or a belt or a scarf, maybe even just your pants if you can, and start to pull down onto those knees. The bend in the elbows helps us get those knees closer to the chest, squishing that belly a little further. Flex your feet and draw your shoulders back and down. We really want to work to keep those shoulders grounded. Chin stays tucked here. Keep flexing those feet hard. Pavanmuktasana in our transverse colon. So that bubble has now shifted. It's in the center of our spine, in the center of our belly, and everything inside is still there. And we're adding to it. So anything that keeps popping up for you as you work through this transverse colon, add it to it. Anything that's not serving you anymore. Big or small, it doesn't matter. Maybe you don't want to eat unhealthy foods anymore. Maybe you don't want to drive 95 in an 85. Whatever it is, put all of that stuff that isn't serving you anymore into that bubble. Allow it to fill that bubble up. Use your breath to push back against those thighs. Keep flexing your feet and pulling your shoulders back and down. Maybe the breath becomes wobbly here. Just know it's because you're working on releasing all of those things that are unserving. Flex a little bit harder. Exhale that breath. Pull it in a little tighter and say to yourself here, I lovingly release everything that isn't serving me anymore. Flex those feet a little bit harder, squeeze in a little bit tighter. Feel the constriction of your breath against those thighs. And gently release that grip. Keep the flex on the feet and kick the sole of the right foot all the way up to the sky. Reach it up there. Get the grip on the left shin and now start to release the right leg down towards the mat. Slowly, move slower than you thought you could. Maybe before you get there, you hover and hold, extending that right leg long, reaching, 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 and then releasing. Keep flexing both your feet, pulling that left knee in towards the chest. Feel that bubble underneath that left thigh, squeezing, holding here, putting everything in there. Any last little bits of information that need to go into this bubble to send away like a cloud in the sky, no longer for you to deal with. Keep flexing, keep placing that stuff in there, and keep breathing. Don't forget your breath. I want you to feel the breath constriction against that thigh. Pavanamuktasana on our descending side. This is where we get to release it all. Let it go. When we release this, we'll feel that flood of energy release. Like when you hold onto a garden hose to keep it from spewing water, and then when you get where you need to go, you let it go, and it sprays everywhere. That's the same thing that's going to happen here on this side. It's the same thing that happens anytime we work through a bind in our yoga practice. Keep flexing those feet. Draw that left thigh in a little tighter. Maybe you can grab for opposite wrists or opposite elbows. Hold, squeeze, flex those feet a little harder. Think about anything else that needs to go into that bubble. Use your breath to push back against that thigh, peeling those shoulders back and down. Flex a little harder, a little harder. Keep squeezing in. Think about pulling that left knee towards the left armpit if you're really not feeling any stretch here. You should be feeling the stretch all through that left leg, into the left hip. Squeezing and squishing against that thigh, against that belly, I mean. Good, nice, gentle squeeze. Pull it in tighter than you thought you could. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold your breath and say to yourself here, I lovingly release everything that doesn't serve me anymore. I'm willing to change and I'm willing to grow. Bring in that breath, release the grip, kick the left foot up, and slowly, slowly release it down. Let it go. Wiggle, get any little wiggles out that you need to get out. Anything left. Maybe flap through the feet or wiggle the toes from side to side, releasing tension through the spine. And start to release everything down into your final pose. The most important pose of our practice, Shavasana. Now in this Shavasana, you can choose any number of variations. Maybe you zip those legs up super, super tight. Let the heels come together. Let the toes fall apart. Really draw those shoulders back and down. Tuck everything up tight against the body. Maybe you want to walk those heels out as far as your mat can go. Maybe you walk those arms or reach those arms up above your head like you're a starfish. Any space in between there and that zipped up posture are all open for your availability. Choose your adventure here. How do you want to settle in? I do encourage you to find something that's super relaxing and super comfortable, because once we get here, we want to resist that urge to fidget. We want to resist that urge to move. We want to allow the body to relax, to release, to let go. Allowing your breath to slow down and lengthen. Deepening the breath, encouraging a longer stride with each inhale and each exhale. Letting go of everything here. As thoughts start to enter your mind, send them away like a cloud in the sky, releasing it out into the universe. There's nothing you need to deal with in this moment, not even that twitch or that movement that your body wants to make. As you start to learn to resist that urge to fidget, that urge to move, that need to wipe your sweat or scratch your nose, maybe there's an urgency that begins to build as you start to increase this length, this practice time. And that urgency begins to build. Take a nice deep breath, maybe pause the breath at the top, and think about that conscious exhale, sending that breath into that space of urgency. Wherever that voice is talking to you, telling you you need to jump up and run out of the posture, breathe into that space. Let everything melt into the mat below. Let your tongue hang heavy. Let your eyeballs hang heavy. Feel the face relax. Feel the tension release from your chin, from your neck, from your throat. Feel the shoulders release. Feel the chest fall back. Let your shoulders fall back, and the weight of your arms melts into the mat below. Maybe you feel a tingling in your fingertips. Say thank you. Release the belly, release the hips. Let the knees relax. Let the shins release. The ankles start to loosen. The tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet. And all the way into the toes, you feel this relaxation. Know that you carry with you any tool for every situation. Know that when you need that tool, it's right there in your toolbox, inside your body, inside your mind. And if you take a moment to go within and breathe deep, you can find that tool. Know that you always need the right tool for the right job, so knowing which tool to grab is very helpful. Yoga teaches us where to find those tools, which tools to use, and how to use them. Take a moment to think back on your practice today. At any point during the flow where you felt like you were flying or floating, say thank you. Maybe harness that energy, pull it in deep, make it one of your tools in your toolbox. Keep breathing in this meditation. Now, take the opportunity to go back through your practice again. This time, I want you to think of something that made you fall. When did you fall today? Think about that fall. How did it make you feel? Are you more aware of what it feels like to fall now? Maybe a little less afraid? This too is a tool, this feeling of falling. Bring that tool into your toolbox. Harness that energy. Know what it feels like to play, to let go of control. Letting everything melt into this moment. Keep coming back to the thought of your body or the thought of your breath. Finding one point of focus. Calming every part of the body, allowing it all to melt into the mat. Coming back to your breath, back to the thoughts, release them away. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start bringing awareness to your limbs, maybe stretching and pointing through the feet and through the legs. Maybe starting to reach the arms above you in a nice stretch, waking the body up for possibly the second time today. Good. Draw your knees into your chest. Keep the eyes closed here. Pick your favorite side and roll onto it. Coming into a nice little fetal position. Loving yourself. Eyes are still closed here. Taking this opportunity to find that deep cellular love. So wherever your hands are touching your body, I want you to gently tap. Maybe you give a squeeze or just pet your skin. But with that physical motion, we get to tell the cells deep within our bodies, I love you. Thank you. Say whatever nice things you want to say to yourself as you tap, touch, rub, love your body. Eyes still closed here. Taking as much time as you need in this self-love practice. And then using your palms, slowly coming up to sit. Back in our Sukhasana. Eyes still closed. Try and keep them closed if you can. Palms up on top of the thighs, shoulders back and down. Lift the head high. Sit up tall in your easy pose. And breathe. Smile. Draw your palms together at heart center. Say to yourself, I feel my truth from my heart. Inhale, draw those thumbs up to the lips and say to yourself, I speak my truth. Take that last big, deep inhale. Bring those thumb tips all the way up to the third eye. Press them into that third eye. Feel the pressure. Smile. Inhale deeply and say to yourself here, I intuit the truth from my thoughts. Rub the palms together. Create a little heat between them. Draw the palms to the eyes. Feel the activation of your chakras. Waking up the mind, waking up that third eye. Gently drop the palms and open the eyes. Smile. Say something nice to yourself. Maybe find something you're grateful for. It's been my honor and my privilege to guide you today. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself and for being present with me today. With all of my heart to yours. Namaste.